Light our fire on Samhain night. Come to us on frosted air. Guide our path by pale moonlight. Light our fire on Samhain night. Tlachtga lady, goddess fair. Come to us on frosted air. Guide our path by pale moonlight. Light our fire on Samhain night. Tlachtga lady, goddess fair. Come to us on frosted air. Guide our path by pale moonlight. Light our fire on Samhain night.
Are we gonna be here?
Come, spirits of the east, spirits of air, spirits who bring the winds of knowledge and wisdom. At the time of Immo, come, Bridget, queen of springtime, lady of the threefold flame. We ask that you guard the eastern portal and witness our right. Hail and welcome.
An fiagas am actira. Slay Marisham bandia breach bandia natina. Agus an dia lu, dia na grenia. Folcha gadi and circle and shaw. Folcha.
Come, spirits of the south, spirits of fire, spirits that bring the warm summer winds, full of warmth, passion and will. Come, Lou, bright and shining one, Lord of many talents. We ask that you guard the southern portal and witness our right. Hail and welcome.
Agus an pradón san isca. Gleim an cailiach. Tar is jock agus céad míle fáilte.
Come, spirits of the west, spirits of water, keepers of memory and emotion, guardians of the ancestral gate. Come, Manannán, Lord of the seas, King of Tirnanog and the Blessed Isles. We ask that you guard the western portal and witness our right. Hail and welcome.
Bandia Tlachtga, Bandia na Tlachtga. Agus Meath and Oíche Shamhna. Oíche
Come, spirits of the north, spirits of earth, guardians of our home and of Mother Earth. at the time of Samhain. Come, Oíche, Queen of Winter, and Tlachtga, on whose blessed hill we stand. We ask that you guard the northern portal and witness our right. Hail and welcome.
Lei me rachar na sfera, Seanwar na Gialí agus colcachar na réilcanna. Galonri siad an solas a ring. Agus lei me wachar an dawan. I gini tú the lover shin.
The four directions have been honoured, that power and radiance might enter into our circle. Father Sky, Grandmother Moon, our cousins the stars, we call on you and ask for your blessing over all those here present. Mother Earth, we honour you and all that live upon you, seen and unseen.
We ask you to protect and shelter those who gather within our circle.
May the harmony of our circle be complete.
Sha!
Sha.
Why are we here?
To tell the stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are so very welcome to Tlachtga on this exquisite Samhain night. How blessed are we under the starry sky, so clear, so still, so warm, so blessed to all be gathered here in this amazing community of people. By being here, you are part of a story that has been ongoing on this hill for thousands and thousands of years. We know, thanks to the archaeological digs that took place here, that there is human activity right back to the Stone Age here. You are part of that ancestry, you are part of that tradition. Now, we don't know exactly what our ancestors did here. That doesn't matter. What we are doing here is a representation. It is an echo of what our ancestors did here. And you have all heard the call of that echo. You have all heard the call of that story. And it has brought you to this place on this night to be a part of this ceremony and this circle of people. We do know that a great fire was built here, and that fire was of such great importance that they went to Lambay Island in hope and gathered embers there from the volcanic ash, and they transported it up the Boyne, up the Yellowford River, and finally brought it here to Tlachtga to ignite what must have been one of the greatest fires in all the land. All other fires on the night of Samhain were to be extinguished before the great fire was lit, and people would come from all over the country to take embers from the sacred fire and bring it back into their homes to ignite their own hearth fires once more. So why did they do this? Why did they light this fire at this time? Why did they plunge the land into darkness? Well, this is the ancient New Year. This is the time where we descend into darkness so that the people can rest, so that new life can be brought into being, because all life must begin in darkness, like the child in the womb, like the seed beneath the earth, waiting for its moment in the springtime to burst forth once more. So that is why they celebrated the New Year at this time. It was the last harvest. It literally means the end of summer, when the earth gave forth her last great abundance to the people. The berries were gathered, the apples were gathered, and all those animals that could not be fed through the winter were slaughtered, and great feasts were held amongst the people. So it was a time of great celebration, but also a time of very deep contemplation. Was the harvest a good one? Was the harvest a bad one? And if it was a bad one, who would survive the long dark of the winter? Would the chieftains of the tribe survive? Would the children survive? Who would see it through to the next growing season? So although it was a great time of celebration, it was a time where people thought very strongly about death. And this is a celebration of death. It is a celebration of the ancestors. And so you will be called later on in proceedings to call out the names of your loved ones in remembrance on this hill this night. Because Samhain is about honouring all that which has gone before us, all that story that has brought us here together in humanity. And so we honour that by remembering the stories of those who have gone before us, by calling out their names and remembering them here on the hill. So I would ask you, please speak out the names of those who have gone before you. Lend your voice to this circle, because there's so much power in that. Why do we tell the stories?
Because the stories need to be told.
Tonight we will hear not one but two stories. We will hear the story of Tlachtga herself, after whom this hill is named, and who it is said the great Celtic Festival was held in honour for. But we will also hear another story from our guardian of the hill, Joe Conlon, a story of the She, a local story of the She, and why we must remember to honour them even in this day and age, when we have iPhones and computers and so much light that there are no shadows for the ghosts and the fairies to hide in anymore. But we must honour them, for this is also their time. This is the time when the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest, and the other world is so close to us we can reach out and touch it. For those of you who were gathered down at the Fair Green, you may not have seen it, but as I was walking towards you, in a full circle around you was a beautiful fairy mist rising from the ground around you. So the She are very much present with us here this night. So it is so important that we honour them and we tell their story. And we tell the ancient myths, we tell the story of Tlachtga, because contained within those myths are deep, fundamental truths that can still hold so much resonance for us as humanity, right here, right now, in this time. So what you might take from the story of Tlachtga could be very different from what the person beside you takes from the story. You may not take anything from it, it may just be a story. But if you look deep into the myths, they're a way of passing on information from person to person. So we will always find those deep fundamental truths captured within them. And so begins the story of Tlachtga. The most feared of all of the druids of Ireland was the one-eyed druid, Mog Rua. This then. All within the country were so terrified of him because he had an insatiable thirst for knowledge and for power. It is said that he took down the forces of the High King himself when he threatened to come into Munster and unseat him as Archdruid down there. He wove a great enchantment and vanquished the High King's army in one fell swoop. He was great and he was mighty and he was rather terrifying. And he had... Yes, and he had a fair, beautiful and wise daughter named Tlachtga. Isn't she lovely? And together they travelled all the length and breadth of their era, meeting with all of the magical peoples and learning from them. Now, in Mog Rua's case, he was also after their power, but Tlachtga herself, she was in search of wisdom and knowledge. And so great was his thirst for knowledge that Mag Rua took his daughter Tlachtga away to Italy to meet with a great sorcerer by the name of Simon the Magus. Simon was named the very first heretic in the Bible, it is said. It is claimed that he could understand the power of bird flight and that he could heal the people just as well as Christ himself. And it is said that he learned this from Christ himself. And so he was classed as the very first heretic. And together, the three of them built one of the greatest machines ever known to man, the Rathrom, that would journey across the sky. It was a great wheel of flame on which they would fly. And it is said that anyone who looked at it would be blinded. Anyone who touched it would be struck down dead. And anyone who heard it would be deafened. So it was a great and powerful instrument. But it was not enough for Mag Rua, and it was not enough for Simon Magus. So, being blokes, they thought that they'd send the lady off to do the job for them. And they sent her off on a great quest around the world to meet with all of the magical peoples, seeking out knowledge wherever they might find her. Go to that one if you like. To the Norse lands they sent her, where she learned the art of the runes and of the deep trance work of the safe. Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, 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 Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga. To ancient Greece they sent her, where she learned the art of mathematics and astronomy and philosophy. Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga. To the Americas they sent her, where she met with the native people and learned the great shamanic arts of healing from the medicine men. Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga. You getting tired yet, Tlachtga, on all your journeys? You're all right. You've got a few more to go there. You okay? Good woman yourself. Where next? Back to Fair Era they sent her, where she learned all of the arts of the ancient megalithic mounds and all of the magic of the Celtic people. Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, 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 Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga. To the east they sent her, and there she learned the art of deep and powerful meditation and vision. Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga, oh Tlachtga. And finally, she flew back to Italy once more. And there she brought all of the knowledge, all of the wisdom, all of the magic back to Simon Magus and to her father. And when they looked upon her and they saw how full of wisdom, how full of magic, how full of knowledge they were, well, they weren't very happy at all. Because it was hers. Because she had gone out. She had experienced the mysteries. She had gone on her travels. She had truly found that exist inside herself. And their jealousy and their rage knew no ends. And so it was that she was handed over to the 3 sons of Simon Magus, and they took her and they violated her and they sent her away into exile.
That was with the red thingy.
And slowly but surely,
I'm not
broken,
going. I'm not going. No!
broken, heartbroken, she made her way back to the land of her birth, back to Era. And she made her way to this very hill on which we all stand right now. And when she got here, she was very heavily pregnant. Pregnant with triplets. And on a Samhain night, she gave birth to them, right here on this hill, to 3 sons, to Dullea, to Kuma, and to Muach. And so hard was the labour and so long was it that she was exhausted and she could do no more. She knew that her life was coming to an end. And so, with one last great bout of courage and wisdom and magic, she called aloud the names of her son to the sky, and she declared that as long as the names of those sons were remembered in this land, then no invading force could ever come here and steal this island's sovereignty. And we did forget their names. And we stopped calling their names. And the story of Tlachtga and the story of this hill for so many years lay quiet, lay silent, until 16 years ago, one man decided that he had heard the call of the ancestors, that he had heard the call of Tlachtga, and the time had come to rekindle the fires, to rekindle the stories, and to once again call out the names of her sons. And that man was Joe Conlon, the guardian of this hill, and we will hear from him shortly.
Mother.
But what does the story tell to us? What is it? What information does the story give to us? Well, we can look at it as a movement of worship throughout many times. We have Tlachtga, whose name means earth spear, a bolt of lightning. We have Magrua, whose name means the servant of the wheel, or the sun. And we have Simon Magus, a man, the first heretic from the New Testament. So we can look at this passage of time from the worship of Mother Nature and all the elemental forces, to the worship of the sun in the sky, to the worship of Jesus Christ himself in the New Testament. So we can see the story as a document of that time. We can see Tlachtga herself and her story as one of oppression within a patriarchal society that wanted to take everything from her and did take everything from her. Much as the society we live in today, those in great power take what they want from those who have little to nothing. Or we can see her as the great heroine, the martyr who gave her life for the people of this country. Or we can simply see her as the earth itself, and her sons as the last great abundance of the final harvest at the end of the summer, giving forth the fruits, the berries, and the animals to the people to sustain them through the winter. But however we perceive her and however we perceive her story, we call her back from the midst of time to be with us. We call her back, and we call her with song. And for those of you who were with us on the fair green, you will have heard this song before, and you will have heard us singing it as we came in through the procession. And I will ask you to sing it with me now. So I'm going to feed you a line, and you're going to sing it back to me. How does that sound?
Do you want to sing
Wonderful.
the song electronically?
Let's raise our voices together and call back Tlachtga from the midst of time. We'll start. Tlachtga, Lady Goddess fair.
Tlachtga, Lady Goddess fair.
Come to us on frosty air.
Come to us on frosty air.
Guide our path by pale moonlight.
Guide our path by pale moonlight.
Light our fire on Samhain night.
Light our fire on Samhain night.
Tlachtga,
Lady Goddess fair. Tlachtga, Lady Goddess fair.
come to us on frosty air.
Come to us on frosty air.
Guide our path by pale moonlight.
Guide our path by pale moonlight.
Light our fire on Samhain night.
Light our fire on Samhain night.
Tlachtga, Lady Goddess fair.
Tlachtga, Lady Goddess fair.
Come to us on frosty air.
Come to us on frosty air.
Guide our path by pale moonlight.
Guide our path by pale moonlight.
Light our fire on Samhain night.
Light our fire on Samhain night. Tlachtga, Lady Goddess fair. Tlachtga, Lady Goddess fair.
Come to us on frosty air.
Come to us on
Loud as
frosty
you
air.
can. Guide our path by pale moonlight.
Guide our path by pale moonlight.
Light our fire on Samhain night.
Light our fire on Samhain night.
Outside. Okay.
Right.
Tlachtga, speak to us now.
Samhain greetings to you all. I want to hear a big clap. Okay, this time I want to hear it louder. Because you are clapping for yourselves and congratulating yourselves. This is the end of your journey for this year. And I hope that you can look back on the year and be happy with yourselves because you have all come so far. You're all on a journey just like Tlachtga through the world, and every day is a new lesson. And always look at your life as one big lesson, because that's what it is. You will meet people, they will come and they will go, but you'll always be, you will always have your ancestors behind you and your children in front of you. So, in the word of another great poet, do not go gentle into that good night, for old age should burn against the dying of the light. So rage against the dying of the light. Happy Samhain!
We approach the quieter time now. We approach the time where we remember those who have passed. Why are we here? To call the ancestors. Why do we call the ancestors?
The ancestors need to be heard.
We call forth now Sinead and Alicia to give us the remembrance list.
spiritual veil between this world and the next is at its thinnest. This is the time for us to bid a final farewell to those we love, who have passed during the year. It is said their spirits will be abroad tonight, as they come to say the last goodbye. Not everyone can join us in Tlachtga for our Samhain Festival of Fire celebration. And so, each year we invite those who cannot be here or who live abroad to have their loved ones remembered, in their absence, on this special night in this magical place. Tonight we will have a list of those who have passed and ask you to remember them and honour them. Call out to their spirits so that they know they are loved. I would like to start the list this year by remembering my wonderful Nana Aileen, who stayed on this very hill when she was my age. I know that few of hers are with us tonight.
Call the names of those who have asked that their loved ones be honoured and remembered here on Tlachtga. My mother, Aileen McCormack Kavanagh. Joanne Hayes.
I know I will.
Wirran
Because we
Librulafon.
have the whole circle
Casimiro
of light
Bilandi.
and the stars.
Kira Geraghty. Claudette Guinto. Dave and Mary Canavan. Colin Boland. Bernice Polazzi. William Finn. Eileen Kelly. Benny Kelly. Paul West. Jerry Turner. John Roach. Dan Whitmore. Michael Callett. Michael Opyolko. Seth and Michaela Solomon. Brian Monaghan. Francis Evers. Hannah Evers. William O'Farrell. Ethel O'Farrell.
Please move one way or the
Eugene
other.
Mulholland. Francis Klimke. Janice Garrett. Jerry Finney. John Farrell. Joseph Weldon. Katie McLaughlin. Miguel Cloud Delgado. Zaida Cloud del Flores. Nadia. Terry Harris. Van Feinberg. Wolf. Baby Campbell Wilding. Keridwin Campbell. And Kerry Bolton. We honour those loved ones. We allow them to come and say a final farewell to those they love tonight. And likewise we now ask you, if you would like to call the names of those you have loved to be honoured here tonight, please call their names now as we place your intentions on the fire.
Lillian
and
Joseph.
Call their names now and have them remembered right here in
Denise.
Plain. Please feel free.
And Joni.
Tom.
Mary McGowan.
Maureen.
Catherine McGowan.
Caroline.
Eileen Doyle.
Katie
Pat McLaughlin.
Collin. Bob Collins.
Michael McGowan.
Margaret Conlon. John
Alex Simmons.
Okay.
Daisy. Blossom. Buttercup. Rosemary.
Little Bridget.
Grandad Peter. Grandad Jen.
And tonight we have a little special memory of the infant that was found here on Tlachtga, placed lovingly many, many, many years ago. Another reason that this place and space is so magical and special to all of us.
We ask now if you would like to join with us and all turn to the west, to the direction of the ancestors. And myself and Nessa will sing a song of passing for all of those who have passed over in the last 12 months. This is a way to guide them to the other world, guide them to Tirnano. Where are you, Nessa? Here. Turn your eyes to the western skies, away from dust of dreams gone by. 1,000 flames on a vast dark sea to light your way to eternity. Turn your eyes to the western skies, away from dust of dreams gone by. 1,000 flames on a vast dark sea to light your way to eternity. Turn your eyes to the western skies, away from dust of dreams gone by. 1,000 flames on a vast dark sea to light your way to eternity.
Where's Tlachtga?
This place is about magic tonight, is about our ancestors, and we must also remember on this very special and magical place those who walk among us all of the time. Some call them the little folk, some call them the wee fairies, for us the Tuatha or the She. Tonight we would like to remember them and to remind you of how important they are. And so we call forward Joe Conlon, who will tell us the story, the legends of the She's in this area, Tlachtga. Joe.
My story is pretty local and in my lifetime. It's about a person that lived quite close to me. I've been born and reared beside this hill. I have seen this hill every day since I was my eyes open. And a friend of ours, there was a family friend, decided to build a house on a site. And everyone said to him, no, 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 that's a fairy fort beside that site. You cannot build a house there. And he says something in the region of it starts with B and ends with dash. That's what that is. And he went ahead and he built his house in my lifetime. He spent 2 weeks in it. And it's only in the last 5 years the house was demolished. And as I grew up, I passed it every day. Every day I passed a perfectly good stone house. I seen the windows rot. I seen the house decay. I seen the roof starting to fall in. But that was because the man did not heed the advice of people that knew better and that knew the folklore and knew the stories. And to take my own mistake, I came up on this hill to cut the grass the day after the last moon, the last full moon. And I brought up my lawnmower, I came inside the stile, no way would it start. I took out the plug, wouldn't start. Put in petrol, wouldn't start. Said a few prayers that most people wouldn't like to hear. I went home and got a brand new one that I'd only bought 3 weeks ago. Brought it up, brought it inside the stile, would not start. Brought it back home. Went over to the old one at home, it started. The new one started, I cut the grass around my house. But I didn't heed the She. I shouldn't have come till the next day. I came up the next day and I was able to cut the grass. No problem. So there is a lot of truth. This is a magical place. This is a powerful place. And I said on the green, take to it what you will, but take from it what you will. But I hope you are all happy you came. And no regrets. Because it is just a beautiful, beautiful place. Everyone is on the same wavelength. you know, we're all friends here, and thank you very, very much. From the bottom of my heart, we started with 12 people 16 years ago. 12 people, and as I told them in the green, 6 of those says we should be locked up. The other 6 says, I hope to God nobody sees us. So,
look at us now!
This is what it is now.
Walter, look at the moon over there.
And so now, has everyone put their intentions into the basket?
Yes.
Any more?
If there's any more that need to come forward, now is the time to do it.
Wonderful, thank you. Do you have any attention?
I already put one in.
Any more intentions? Thank you. Any more? Thank
On the
you.
way down anyway. So.
And purely by holding those intentions with you throughout this ceremony, and for those who didn't walk, you have lent so much power to them.
I want to hold you up so you can see the moon.
Oh yeah, 4, yeah.
Any more?
Walter, look at the moon.
Yeah.
Over there. No, see?
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Bring that in.
I'll come over to you.
Give this one.
Look, it's over there.
Any more?
Yeah, Gemma here.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Any more?
One more. Yes, Brian, you put it in.
Oh, you got it. Thanks, Alicia.
One more, sorry.
One more. Yay! Pass them forward. Pass them forward. Is that everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
We got a yes, yes.
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 And so now we call on our Ard3, Annette, to say a blessing over the intention. Oh, is there one more? There's more. Hang on. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Right here.
There you go.
There's more. There's more.
Here, she's here.
Yes. Yes. Are we done? Are we done? Okay. And just as we're about to do this, I'd like you all just to look over here and see that the moon has come out from behind the clouds. And it's blessing us with her power. There's more here, Jeb. More. There's more. There's more. Pass them over. You got it? Yeah. Do you want me to hold it while you do that? Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. That might stick. Thank you so much.
Everybody in?
Everybody in?
Yeah.
Yes?
Okay. O Spirit Mor. O Spirit Mor, the Spirit na tinner. Meath le chaige le banach dan a ruin sha. Great Spirit and spirits of this fire, we ask you for your blessings on all of these intentions that have been placed here from the hearts of those in this circle. I ask Gemma to do the honors, yeah? Okay. Okay, I'll hold that. Okay, let's do it together. The time has now come for us to close this circle and go forth into the night. But please do linger if you would like to. The fire is here for you if you want to linger for some time and commune with it. But we will now close the circle. Oh, and also there are refreshments over at the table over here.
There's also a donation bucket over there if you would like to throw something in there. We would really appreciate it. This festival is completely volunteer led. We do get some funding, but a lot of it still comes out of the pockets of the people who are involved. So any little thing that you can give us is really very welcome. Yes, I think that's it for the moment. And there will be, all of the thank yous will be done at the end of the ceremony as well. There's also sheets where people can sign their names. We do desperately need this for our diaspora funding. So if you can, please sign your names if you're going over to get a cup of tea and a bit of brack and a bit of mulled cider over at the tent. There's a bit of mulled cider.
That was really good.
No camera.
It's not that kind of festival. So if everyone could just give us some quiet, please, as we close the circle. Thank you. Spirits of the east, spirits of the air, spirits who bring the winds of knowledge and wisdom. At the time of Imol, Bridget, Queen of Springtime and Lady of the Threefold Flame, we thank you for attending our rite and celebration, and we bid you hail and farewell.
Agus spirit deskert, slán agus bannacht.
Spirits of the south, spirits of fire, spirits that bring the warm summer winds, full of warm passion and will. Lu, bright and shining one, Lord of many talents, we thank you for attending our rite and celebration, and we bid you hail and farewell.
Gweithe agus spirit anir, slán agus bannacht.
Spirits of the west, spirits of water, keepers of memory and emotion, guardians of the ancestral gate, Manannán, Lord of the seas, King of Tiernanog and the Blessed Isles, we thank you for attending our rite and celebration, and we bid you hail and farewell. Spirits of the north, spirits of earth, keepers of our home and Mother Earth, Ancalia, Queen of Winter, and Tlachtga, on whose blessed hill we stand, we thank you for attending our rite and celebration, and we bid you hail and farewell. Our circle is now open. We thank you all for coming, and we hope that you take the lessons of the ancestors back with you in your hearts to your homes, and that you take the light of the fire with you to keep you warm and to keep you lit throughout the winter months.